Admiral Marcus Thompson stood tall in the dimly lit United Earth Defense Force Command Center, his weathered face illuminated by the harsh glow of 7 holographic figures floating before him. Each alien representative of the Galactic Council towered over him in their projected forms, their expressions ranging from contempt to cold indifference. "You have 24 Earth hours to comply," announced the lead counselor, his blue-tinted form flickering slightly. "Surrender 30% of your planet's resources and accept your new status as a protected territory, or face immediate military action." Marcus felt his jaw tighten, but he kept his face neutral. After 30 years in the military, he hadn't reached his position by letting emotions control him. Around him, the command center staff worked silently at their stations, but he could feel their tension filling the air. "The Council has determined," continued another alien figure, this one tall and spindly, "that humanity is too aggressive and unpredictable to remain independent. This is not a negotiation. This is mercy." Marcus clasped his hands behind his back, studying each alien face. The Council members represented the 7 most powerful species in known space: the militant Dracs, the calculating mentors, the ancient elders, and 4 other species that had dominated galactic politics for millennia. "I understand," Marcus replied simply, his deep voice steady. "Earth will need time to discuss this ultimatum." The lead counselor's eyes narrowed. 24 hours, Admiral. Not a minute more." The holograms vanished, leaving the command center feeling somehow larger and emptier. For a moment, complete silence filled the room. Then Marcus turned to his communications officer. "Get me the president. Now." Within minutes, screens lit up around the room as government leaders from around the world joined an emergency conference. President Laura Reed's face dominated the central display, her expression grim. "They're not bluffing," Marcus reported. "The Council's fleet movements suggest they've been planning this for months. We've detected at least 300 warships moving into position around our solar system. They're counting on us to surrender without a fight," said General Roberts from his command post in Europe. "Classic bullying tactics, just on a galactic scale." President Reed leaned forward. "What are our real options, Admiral?" Marcus pressed a button, bringing up Earth's defense readiness statistics. "We're not as helpless as they think, Madam President. For the past decade, we've been quietly preparing for something like this. Project Phoenix is ready, though we never thought we'd need it so soon. The Council believes we're still struggling with basic spaceflight," added Dr. Wilson, Chief of Earth's Science Division, joining the conversation. "They have no idea about our quantum developments or the technology we've reverse-engineered from those crashed scout ships." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. The Council's arrogance had worked in Earth's favor. They'd been so convinced of humanity's primitive status that they'd never looked too closely at Earth's recent technological leaps. "But if we fight," President Reed said slowly, "we risk everything. They could glass our planet. If we surrender," Marcus countered, "we lose everything anyway. Our independence, our resources, our future. They'll turn Earth into another exploited protectorate, mining us dry while keeping us dependent on their technology." The room fell silent as the weight of the situation settled over everyone. Humanity stood at a crossroads, facing the greatest threat in its history. Finally, President Reed straightened in her chair. "Admiral Thompson, begin emergency protocols. General Roberts, initiate worldwide military readiness. Dr. Wilson, how long does Project Phoenix need?" 6 hours to full power, Madam President." "Then that's what we'll give them." President Reed's voice hardened with determination. "We'll send our official response to the Council in 18 hours. That gives us time to prepare our surprises. Let them think we're desperately debating surrender." Marcus nodded, pride swelling in his chest. This was humanity at its finest, backed into a corner but refusing to bow down. "One more thing," President Reed added. "If we're doing this, we do it united. No individual nation acting alone. Earth stands together. As the meeting ended and preparations began, Marcus walked to the command center's observation window. The night sky sparkled with stars, and somewhere up there, the Council's ships were moving into position, their crews confident in an easy victory. "You have no idea what you've just started," he muttered to the stars above. Earth might be younger and less advanced than the Council races, but humanity had one thing they didn't: the absolute refusal to surrender to tyranny. The next 24 hours would change the galaxy forever. The Council didn't wait for Earth's response. 16 hours into the 24-hour ultimatum, their ships opened fire. Admiral Thompson was drinking his third cup of coffee when the alarms blared through the command center. Red warning lights flashed across every screen as reports flooded in from Earth's orbital stations. "Multiple energy signatures detected," shouted Lieutenant Rogers from his monitoring station. "They're firing on our orbital defense platforms." Marcus rushed to the main display. Streams of bright energy beams cut through space, targeting Earth's visible military installations. The International Space Station exploded in a brilliant flash, followed by 3 defense satellites. "They're trying to blind us," Marcus growled. "Get me firing solutions on those ships. And someone wake up the president." But President Reed was already online, her face appearing on the emergency channel. "Status report, Admiral." "The Council decided to start early," Marcus replied, watching as more energy beams sliced through Earth's orbital defenses. "They're taking out our eyes in space first." Casualties. IS crew evacuated to the emergency pods 10 hours ago. All other stations were running on automated systems. No human casualties yet. Marcus turned to his tactical officer. "What about the hidden facilities?" Lieutenant Peters grinned. "Underground bases report no damage, sir. The Council doesn't even know they exist, and our stealth satellites are still operational." The Council's attack continued for 30 minutes, systematically destroying every visible piece of Earth's space technology. To any observer, it would appear that humanity's defenses had been completely destroyed. That's when the Council made their first mistake. Their ships moved closer to Earth, preparing for the next phase of their attack. They expected to find a helpless planet, its primitive defenses in ruins. Instead, they found themselves within range of humanity's hidden weapons. "All stations," Marcus commanded, his voice steady. "Execute Operation Thunder." Across Earth, hidden silos opened in mountains, deserts, and ocean floors. Rails extended from seemingly abandoned facilities, and in low Earth orbit, dozens of stealth platforms dropped their cloaking fields. "Sir," Lieutenant Peters reported, "ground batteries show green across the board, ready to fire on your command." Marcus looked at President Reed's image on the screen. She nodded. "Fire." Thousands of projectiles launched simultaneously from Earth's surface. These weren't the primitive nuclear weapons the Council expected. Each missile contained a quantum-locked core, technology that the Council believed impossible for humans to develop. The alien ship's energy shields, designed to deflect conventional weapons, meant nothing to these new missiles. The quantum cores passed through their defenses like they weren't even there. Direct hits on 67 enemy vessels, Lieutenant Peters announced as explosions bloomed across space. "They're breaking formation." The Council fleet scattered in confusion. Their sensors couldn't understand what was happening. According to their intelligence, Earth shouldn't have had this technology for at least another century. "Second wave ready," reported Lieutenant Rogers. "Ground batteries reloaded." "Hold fire," Marcus ordered. "Let's see how they react first." The answer came quickly. A new hologram appeared in the command center. The Council's military commander, his alien features twisted with rage. "This is impossible," he snarled. "Your species can't have quantum weaponry." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "There are a lot of things we can't have according to you. Would you like to see more?" "You're bluffing. These are tricks. Primitive deceptions." "Tell that to your destroyed ships," Marcus replied calmly. "We can demonstrate again if you're not convinced." The alien commander's image flickered as another explosion rocked his ship. This isn't over, human. The Council will not tolerate this defiance. The hologram vanished. On the tactical display, the remaining Council ships were retreating to a safer distance, regrouping for what would surely be a stronger second attack. "Well done, Admiral," President Reed said. "But this is just the beginning, isn't it?" Marcus nodded grimly. "They'll be back with their full fleet next time. No more testing our defenses. They'll come to destroy us completely." He turned to his staff. "Contact Dr. Wells. Tell her to accelerate Project Phoenix. We're going to need it sooner than planned." Above Earth, the wreckage of Council ships drifted in orbit. A clear message to the galaxy. Humanity would not surrender without a fight. And they had more surprises waiting for anyone who tried to enslave them. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emma Wells stood before a massive control panel, her fingers flying across holographic displays. Around her, hundreds of scientists and engineers worked at their stations, the underground facility humming with energy. "Power levels at 60% and rising," announced her assistant, Tom, reading from a glowing screen. "Quantum core stabilization holding steady." Emma nodded, her eyes fixed on the main display. Project Phoenix had been her life's work for the past 15 years. Now, humanity's survival might depend on its success. The facility shook slightly as another distant explosion reached them. Above ground, the Council's second attack had begun. Their full fleet had arrived, just as Admiral Thompson predicted. "Dr. Wells," a voice called from behind her. Emma turned to see Admiral Thompson's hologram appearing in the control room. "Please tell me you have good news." "Project Phoenix will be ready in 30 minutes, she replied, gesturing to the power readings. "But sir, you should know, we've never tested it at full scale. The shield might only last a few hours." "A few hours is better than nothing," Marcus answered. His image flickered as another explosion rocked the facility. "The Council brought over 1,000 ships this time. Our quantum missiles are holding them back, but we're running low." Emma turned back to her controls, making rapid adjustments. Project Phoenix was humanity's most ambitious creation, a planetary shield system powered by quantum energy. The technology came from studying crashed alien ships, combined with human innovation and desperate necessity. "Tom," she called out, "start the secondary generators. Route all power to the main core." Around the facility, massive generators roared to life. The lights dimmed briefly as power redirected to Project Phoenix's heart. A quantum core larger than a house, built from technology that the Council thought impossible for humans to understand. 70% power, Tom reported. 80, 90. The facility shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling as Council weapons tried to break through the mountain above them. "They found us," Emma said quietly. "Admiral, we need more time." "You'll have it," Marcus promised. His hologram disappeared as he returned to coordinating Earth's defense. Emma took a deep breath, then pressed her hand against the main control panel. "Start final power sequence. Prepare for full activation." Warning lights flashed across the room as Project Phoenix drew more power. The quantum core pulsed with blue energy, its light visible through the reinforced windows of the control room. "Power levels at maximum," Tom announced. "Core is stable. Shield generators online worldwide." Emma looked at the status display, showing shield generators hidden across Earth, in mountains, deserts, and under oceans. Years of secret construction had placed them perfectly to create an interlocking energy field around the entire planet. "Begin activation sequence," she ordered. 3, 2, 1. She pressed the final button. The quantum core flared brilliantly, its energy racing through underground cables to shield generators across the globe. Above them, the sky began to change. In space, Admiral Thompson watched from his command ship as a shimmering blue barrier began forming around Earth. It started as scattered points of light, then spread rapidly, connecting and strengthening until it covered the entire planet. The Council ships fired at the barrier with their strongest weapons. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes struck the shield and bounced off harmlessly. "Shield holding at 100%, reported Lieutenant Peters. "No damage detected." In the Project Phoenix facility, Emma allowed herself to smile as the readings came in. "Admiral," she called through the communication system, "the shield is stable. Earth is protected." The Council's military commander appeared again on the command center's holographic display, his alien features showing disbelief. "This is impossible. Your species cannot have this level of technology." "You should have done your research better," Marcus replied calmly. "Humanity has a long history of doing the impossible, especially when backed into a corner." The alien commander's image vanished, but not before they saw his expression of pure shock. On their screens, the Council fleet hung motionless in space, their weapons useless against Earth's new defense. "Dr. Wells," Marcus called, "how long can you maintain the shield?" Emma checked her readings. The quantum core was performing better than expected, its power output steady and strong. "Hours have become days, Admiral. Maybe longer. We're rewriting the laws of physics up here." "Good," Marcus replied, "because now it's our turn to take the fight to them." Behind him, Earth's hidden fleet was preparing to launch. The Council had started this war, but humanity would finish it. Hidden shipyards across Earth's solar system powered up their cloaking fields. In the asteroid belt, massive hangar doors opened in what looked like ordinary space rocks. From beneath the surface of Mars, ships emerged from underground bases, and from Earth's oceans, massive vessels rose into the sky. Admiral Thompson stood on the bridge of his flagship, the EDS Defender, watching as Earth's secret fleet gathered around him. 500 ships built in absolute secrecy over the past decade. Each one carried weapons and technology that the Council thought impossible for humans to create. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Lieutenant Rogers announced from his station. "Strike groups are formed and awaiting your orders." Marcus nodded, studying the tactical display. The Council fleet still surrounded Earth, frustrated by the impenetrable shield of Project Phoenix. They had no idea what was coming next. "Open a channel to all Earth ships," he ordered. When the communication line was ready, he spoke clearly and firmly. "This is Admiral Thompson. For years, we prepared for this day. We built this fleet knowing that sooner or later, someone would try to enslave humanity. Today, we show the Council that Earth is not their playground. All ships, execute attack pattern Delta." Earth's fleet moved as one, emerging from their hiding places. The Council ships detected them too late. By the time their sensors registered the threat, humanity's vessels were already among them. "First target acquired," called out Lieutenant Peters from the weapons station. "Council command ship in range." "Fire at will," Marcus ordered. "All ships, engage your targets." The space around Earth erupted in battle. Earth's ships unleashed weapons that shocked the Council forces. Quantum missiles phased through their shields. Gravity beams pulled their ships apart. And most surprisingly, human ships could match their speed and maneuverability. On the Council's command ship, the alien admiral watched in horror as his fleet began falling apart. "Impossible," he shouted, watching another cruiser explode. "Their technology. They can't have this technology." A message came through from Marcus. "You should have asked nicely instead of trying to bully us. Humanity doesn't respond well to threats." The battle continued for hours. Council ships, despite their advanced technology, found themselves overwhelmed by human tactics and unexpected weapons. Earth's ships fought with a combination of strategic planning and aggressive determination that caught the aliens completely off guard. "Enemy fleet is breaking formation," Lieutenant Rogers reported, excitement in his voice. "They're retreating." Marcus watched as the Council ships began jumping away to faster-than-light speed, fleeing the battle. Out of their original 1,000 ships, barely 400 remained. "Sir," Lieutenant Peters called out, "we're receiving surrender signals from 30 Council vessels. Their engines are damaged, and they can't retreat. Accept their surrender, Marcus ordered. Prepare boarding teams, and send a message to their command ship, if it's still out there. When the communication channel opened, Marcus spoke firmly. To the Galactic Council forces, you came to our world expecting to find helpless primitives. Instead, you found out why humanity has survived every challenge in its history. We're not finished. This was just the first wave of our counterattack. In the hours that followed, Earth's fleet regrouped and began repairs. The captured Council ships provided valuable intelligence about alien defense systems and patrol routes. But more importantly, they contained star maps showing the location of every major Council military base. President Reed's image appeared on the bridge's main screen. Excellent work, Admiral. But the Council won't take this defeat lightly. They'll return with an even larger force. Let them come, Marcus replied. But this time, we're not waiting for them to attack us. Lieutenant Rogers, set course for the Council's main fleet base in the Arcturus sector. It's time to take the fight to their doorstep. As Earth's fleet prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, Marcus looked at the tactical display showing their first major victory. The Council had thought humanity would be an easy target. Now they would learn just how wrong they were. The counterattack had begun, and humanity was just getting started. The Grand Council chamber on Arcturus Prime had never seen such chaos. 6 of the 7 Council species argued loudly, while holograms showed Earth's fleet destroying another military base. In just 2 weeks, humans had struck 15 Council facilities, destroying or capturing hundreds of ships. "We must send everything we have," shouted the Drax representative, his scaled skin turning dark with anger. "Crush these humans before they gain more ground." "Everything we have," replied the elder speaker, his ancient voice filled with wisdom. "They have already defeated our best fleets. Perhaps we should consider another approach." The Council members fell silent as a new hologram appeared. Another Council base exploding under Earth's attack. This one had been considered untouchable, protected by the most advanced defense systems in the galaxy. "The humans don't just have advanced weapons," said the mentor representative, adjusting her flowing robes. "They think differently than us. Their tactics are unpredictable. They're savages." The Drax leader shouted again, using technology they stole from us. "Did they?" asked the elder quietly. "Or did we underestimate them? Our own scientists say some of their weapons are completely new. Things we never thought of." The chamber's doors opened, and a junior officer rushed in. "Honored Council members," he said, bowing quickly, "we've just lost contact with the Centauri defense station. Earth's fleet appeared from nowhere, disabled our weapons, and captured the entire facility. No casualties." This news shocked everyone. The humans weren't just winning. They were showing mercy, taking stations and ships without killing their crews, when they could have easily destroyed everything. "The Arcturus Federation calls for immediate peace talks," announced the Arcturus representative, standing tall. His people had always been known for their honor and wisdom. "This war was a mistake. We acted out of fear and pride, and we were wrong." "Traitor," yelled the Drax leader. "You would surrender to primitives." "Primitives." The Arcturus representative laughed softly. "They have beaten our best defenses. Their ships move in ways we thought impossible. Their weapons pass through our shields like they don't exist. And most importantly, they show mercy when they could choose destruction. These are not the actions of primitives." On the main display, another image appeared. This one showed Earth's flagship, the EDS Defender, helping evacuate a damaged Council station before capturing it. Admiral Thompson had ordered his forces to protect civilian lives whenever possible. "The mentors agree with Arcturus," said the mentor representative. "This war must end before it gets worse. The humans have shown they can fight. Now they are showing they can be noble enemies. We should speak with them as equals." More Council members began nodding in agreement. The humans had proved themselves not just powerful, but honorable. They had the strength to destroy their enemies, but chose to minimize casualties instead. "We vote to open peace talks," said the elder speaker. "Who stands with us?" One by one, 4 more council species raised their hands in agreement. Only the Dracs remained opposed, their representatives storming out of the chamber in rage. "Send the message to Earth," ordered the elder. "Tell them we wish to." The chamber's lights suddenly dimmed as a new hologram appeared. It showed Admiral Thompson standing on his bridge, but he wasn't alone. Next to him stood Earth's Ambassador Walker, holding a data cube. "Honorable Council members," Walker said firmly, "before we discuss peace, there are some things you need to know. This data cube contains evidence about why this war really started. Some of your own members have been keeping secrets from you." The council chamber erupted in shocked whispers as Walker continued. "We're sending you proof that certain council members planned this war long ago. They wanted Earth's resources and didn't care how many died to get them. The question is, what will you do with this information?" The council members looked at each other in growing horror. The war had not just revealed humanity's strength, it was about to expose corruption at the heart of galactic civilization. Ambassador James Walker stood in the center of the council chamber, his presence commanding attention despite being the only human in the room. The data cube in his hand glowed softly, containing evidence that would shake the foundations of galactic politics. "Let me show you what we found," Walker said, placing the cube into a reader. Holograms filled the air around him, showing secret meetings and hidden transactions. 3 years ago, certain council members discovered something unique about Earth. The images changed to show scans of Earth's core. "Our planet has the largest deposit of quantum reactive crystals ever found. These crystals are what make our new technology possible. Some of your leaders wanted these crystals badly enough to start a war." The elder speaker leaned forward, his ancient eyes narrowing. "These accusations are serious. Ambassador, do you have proof?" Walker nodded, bringing up more images. "We intercepted communications between council members and private mining corporations. They planned to weaken Earth through military action, then strip our resources while we were under protective status." The chamber erupted in shocked voices as documentary evidence appeared. Bank transfers, secret meetings, and private messages revealed a conspiracy involving several high-ranking council officials. "The Drax representative's sudden departure makes more sense now," said the mentor speaker, her voice hard with anger. "They were deeply involved in this plot." Walker continued presenting evidence. "The attack on Earth wasn't about our aggressive nature or our unpredictability. It was about greed. Certain council members stood to make enormous profits from Earth's exploitation." "But how did you get this information?" asked the Arcturus representative. Walker smiled slightly. "You thought we were just developing weapons. Earth's quantum technology also gave us unprecedented abilities in data processing and code breaking. We've been monitoring council communications for months." New holograms appeared, showing more council members involved in the conspiracy. Some were present in the chamber, and guards quickly moved to detain them as the evidence of their crimes became clear. "There's more," Walker announced. "The corruption goes deeper than just the plot against Earth. We found evidence of similar schemes against other developing worlds. Planets were invaded, their resources stolen, all under the excuse of protection." The elder speaker stood, his voice shaking with rage. "This is a betrayal of everything the Council stands for. We were meant to guide younger species, not exploit them." "Earth proposes a solution," Walker said calmly. "A complete reformation of the Council. New laws to protect developing worlds. Full transparency in all Council decisions. And most importantly, equal representation for all spacefaring species, including Earth." Admiral Thompson's hologram appeared beside Walker. "To show our commitment to peace, Earth's fleet will stand down from offensive operations, but will maintain our defensive positions until reforms are implemented." The chamber was silent as the council members considered Earth's proposal. The evidence of corruption was undeniable, and humanity had proved itself both powerful and honorable in war. The Arcturus Federation supports these reforms, announced their representative. Earth has shown us our own failings. Now they show us a path to redemption. One by one, other council members voiced their support. Even those who had opposed Earth saw the wisdom in reform. The old system had bred corruption. It was time for change. There will be resistance, warned the mentor speaker. Those who profited from the old ways won't give up easily. Then they'll face Earth and its allies together, Walker replied firmly. We didn't want this war, but we fought it to protect our freedom. Now we'll help protect others. As the council began drafting new laws and reforms, Walker sent a private message to President Reed back on Earth. Phase 1 complete. The council is changing. Soon, no species will face what we faced. The political game had been won. Earth had not just defended itself. It had sparked a revolution in galactic governance. The age of exploitation was ending, and a new era of true cooperation was about to begin. 6 months after the war ended, Earth's Admiral Thompson stood in the newly rebuilt council chamber. The room looked different now. The massive throne-like seats of the original council members had been replaced by a circular arrangement of equal positions for all member species. The reforms are working better than we hoped, said the elder speaker, now serving as head of the Reform Committee. 17 developing worlds have already joined the council as protected members, by their own choice this time. Marcus nodded, watching representatives from various species enter the chamber. Among them were races that had once feared council contact, but now saw hope in the new system. Earth's example had changed everything. The Dracs still refused to join the new council, reported Ambassador Walker, standing beside Marcus. But their influence grows weaker each day. More of their allies are choosing reform over isolation. The chamber filled as the first session of the new Galactic Council began. Earth held a prominent position now, not through conquest or fear, but through the respect they had earned. Their actions during and after the war had shown the galaxy a different way of doing things. Order, please, called the elder speaker. Today we vote on the Protected Worlds Act. This law will ensure that no developing species ever faces exploitation or forced submission again. Dr. Emma Wells, attending as Earth's scientific advisor, studied the proposed law on her datapad. The act would share defensive technology with vulnerable worlds while protecting their right to develop naturally. Project Phoenix had been modified to protect other planets, and Earth was teaching them to build their own defenses. The vote is unanimous, announced the elder speaker as the results appeared. From this day forward, all developing worlds have the right to choose their own path. The Council exists to guide and protect, never to control. President Reed's hologram appeared in Earth's section. This is a good day for the galaxy, she said, smiling. But our work is just beginning. She was right. The new council faced many challenges. Some corrupt officials had escaped justice and were hiding in distant systems. The Dracs were building up their military, unhappy with the loss of their influence. And countless worlds needed help recovering from centuries of exploitation. But Earth was ready for these challenges. Their fleet, once hidden, now patrolled trade routes to protect merchant ships. Their quantum technology, shared with allies, helped developing worlds defend themselves, and their diplomatic teams worked to heal old wounds between species. We have a request from the Proxima system, announced a junior officer. They've detected unusual energy readings near their sun. They're asking for Earth's help specifically. Marcus smiled at this. Once, Earth had been seen as a primitive backwater. Now, species across the galaxy sought their advice and assistance. Humanity's reputation for innovation and fair dealing had spread far. There's something poetic about all this, Walker said quietly to Marcus. They tried to conquer us because they thought we were weak. Instead, we showed them a strength they didn't know existed. The strength of unity, Marcus replied. We won because Earth stood together. Now the galaxy is learning to do the same. In the chamber below, representatives from dozens of species discussed trade agreements, scientific cooperation, and mutual defense pacts. The fear and suspicion of the old council had been replaced by genuine collaboration. Earth's quantum crystal reserves, once coveted by corrupt officials, now powered a network of defensive shields protecting developing worlds. The technology that some had tried to steal was freely shared with peaceful species. Final item on today's agenda, announced the elder speaker. The Council Education Initiative. Earth has offered to share their teaching methods with all member worlds. As discussion continued, Marcus received a message from the Earth Defense Force. His ships had found another hidden cache of corrupt council records, more evidence of past crimes, but also proof that the reforms were working. The old power brokers were losing their grip. Humanity's greatest victory wasn't beating them in battle, Walker said, watching the peaceful proceedings. It was showing them a better way. Marcus nodded in agreement. Earth had come to the galactic stage late, but they had arrived exactly when they were needed. Their fierce retaliation against tyranny had opened the door to something greater, a true fellowship of worlds, standing together against any threat. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had fought for.